Hey guys, welcome to Living the Logic. This is Manish Narayan. Today we're going to discuss functions and how you can organize your code using functions. So what is a function? It's a block of code that performs a specific task and it can be reused in other parts of your code. All right. So what I'm going to do is close out the loops file we worked on last video. I'm going to create a new file here, call this functions.py. Right? And let's define our first function. Okay, so we're going to use for defining it, we're going to use a def keyword. All right, so def, and then we're going to create the function greet. All right, so I'm going to define the function. Basically, all it does is print out some sort of greeting or message. Say hello, welcome to Python. Okay, so I defined this function called greet. Right? Now, how do we use it? Well, very simple. Okay, so we just call the function, right? So I'm going to say greet, and notice our function, by definition, has a name, which is called greet. It has 0 arguments. Notice that inside the parentheses set, there are no arguments. So if I want to call it, I just call it with greet with an open close parentheses with no arguments passed to it. Okay, so I'm going to put a comment here. This calls the function named greet. Okay, so if I run this, let's go ahead and run that here. Let me just clear the console, clear the terminal, and we'll execute Python. So, sorry, we'll say Python functions.py. Oh, sorry, let me escape out of this. Let's kill this terminal, let's get a new one. Okay, I'm going to rerun that. So Python functions.py. All right, perfect. So it executed the function called greet. So it says, hello, welcome to Python. Okay. So let's go ahead and call this function. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call this function named greet. So let's save our file, go to the terminal, and we'll call Python functions.py. And notice it prints out, hello, welcome to Python. Okay, so very basic example, and this allows you to define more complex functions, right? So our function in this example took 0 arguments. So greet didn't expect any arguments. Let's go ahead and define another function where we need to pass arguments to it. So let's define another greet function, and we'll pass it a name. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to print hello, and then we'll use our concatenation operator and pass it the name. Okay. So if I wanted to call it, I can say greet. Notice I have 2 functions, greet without arguments, and one with 1 argument with a string called name. Okay. So let's pass it my name here. All right. I'm going to save this and rerun it. Perfect. So it ran the first function here with 0 arguments, and it printed out hello, welcome to Python. And then when I pass it to my new function, an argument, a string, it prints out hello, concatenated with the name that's passed in. Okay. So again, I can say greet Bob, okay, and it'll print out hello, Bob. There we go. So this is an example of a function calls the function named greet again, but passing an argument. Okay. All right. So right now, this function doesn't return any value. It just prints out some sort of string. All right. So now, what if I want to define a function that returns a value? Okay. So I can say define, and let's say we want to add 2 numbers together, a and b. Okay. So what I can do is return a plus b. All right. So basically, this function named add expects 2 arguments, a and b, and then it sums up a and b and returns a value back. Okay. So let's show an example of how that works. So I can say result. I can declare a local variable called result equals add, and we can add the numbers, say 5 and 3. Okay. And then we can print out the result. Okay. So we're expecting the output to equal 8, right? 5 plus 3 is 8. So let's run our file. There we go. Output is 8. So notice we can have functions that don't return anything and don't expect any arguments. That's greet, the first greet. The second greet definition doesn't return anything but expects one argument. And then we have a third definition of a function named add that expects two arguments, a and b, and then it returns the sum of a and b. Okay, so feel free to create your own functions, play around with it, and I'll see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you found the video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. See you next time.